All right, yeah. So, um, yeah, I'm back to talk about what happened to that mother and her son in Chicago. Um, yeah, I had watched the video and it's very disturbing. It really is. To see the way how they actually beat on that woman and slammed her son to the ground and started kicking her son in the head was just it was heartbreaking. It was very heartbreaking. Um, we as parents, we need to do better. We really need to do better because that is some unacceptable behavior. And this new wave of gentle parenting. Let's talk about that gentle parenting. Um, when I was coming up, there was no such thing as gentle parenting. It's either you did something, you got your ass whooped, and that's what it was. All that, oh, talk to your kids, see what's wrong with them before you beat them. No, you got beat, and then you got asked questions later. It wasn't the other way to fuck around at all. Um, I feel like the situation that happened, I truly feel like that. I mean, I could be wrong, but again, these are just my opinions. Um, I feel like the parents should be held accountable. And I'm only saying this because I feel like if you start holding the parents accountable for what a lot of these children do, they will stop doing it. Like seriously. Because it's getting to a point where these kids is getting out of hand. They don't have no guidance. Nobody really cares for them. And don't get me wrong, I know a lot of these parents probably do have jobs and they probably be at work and half of them don't really know what's going on with their kids. But at some point, you have to set up some type of how I want to say it, some type of plan. So if you at work and your kids at school and you know your kids get out at 2:45, 3 o'clock, you should have something set up in place for them to be like after school program. I don't know what happened to the after school programs. I don't know where they went. Like they don't even have the after school programs for these kids no more. And that's why I say, excuse me. That's why I say us as a people have failed. Us as a community have failed. We have failed because at one point it was like, okay, it takes a village, but the village has failed because now you got these parents to the point where they don't want you to say nothing to their children. They don't want you to do nothing to their children. And it's like, oh, you do something, I'm gonna fight for mine. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing out the way to my kids, blase, whoop, skippy. That's not the right mindset to have. And I say that because look at what's going on now. And I'm not saying, oh, let somebody beat the crap out your child. No, that's not what I'm saying. But if somebody is trying to redirect your child in a positive way and tell your child right from wrong, why should you have a problem with that? I don't think you should have a problem with that at all. Um, so I just feel like this whole situation is just really is disheartening. It's really disheartening to see that happen to that lady. It broke my heart. And she also had sickle cell, and she had just recently um got out the hospital right before this incident happened. The lady had just recently got released from the hospital before this happened. So she didn't have the strength to fight these kids off of her or her children. And she felt bad because she said it in a post. She said, I feel like I failed my children as a mother. And for me as a mother, I know how that feel because I was in a situation not like this, but I was in a situation where I felt the same thing. Like I failed my kids. Like I tried to do this, I tried to do that, I tried to make this right, I tried to make that right, but I still feel like I failed them as a mother. And that will eat away at you because knowing how much you love your kids and you'll do anything for your kids, that does eat away at you as a mother. It really does. So I wholeheartedly felt her in that post when she said that. Like I did that one that made me want to break down in tears because it's sad. It's really sad when a mother feels helpless for her babies and she can't do anything because she just recently got out the hospital because of her sickness. And the way them children taunted her, followed her home, or followed them as they was leaving the school. Because I do have the video, I just didn't upload the video here. I wish I knew how, but that's okay. But The way them kids followed that lady and her two children and was taunting them the whole time, despicable. It was just despicable. And I'm like, this is so sad. This is sad. Like y'all, they okay. From my understanding, this has been going on for 2 years with these same group of kids because she had complained to the school numerous of times about these kids bullying her son, and she said it's been going on for 2 years. So my thing of it is, y'all were notified about this, but y'all fed again. We as a community are failing these children. The school failed to recognize what was going on. The school failed to have parent teacher conferences with these children. The school failed these children. And I feel like if they would have paid more attention to what this woman was telling them, her child was being bullied. Like, I don't know. It just like the whole situation just is mind boggling. Like, for y'all not to care that a woman is coming up to the school letting y'all know she said she had over 50 police reports. Crazy. And still nothing has been done. Nothing. So y'all knew that this was going on and y'all still did nothing about it. So at this point, I feel like, okay, well, since the school didn't do nothing about it, then okay, there's some actions need to be taken against the school. Because if this lady's saying she reported this situation, or before it got to this situation, if she reported this bullying for 2 years and nothing's been done, yeah, the school is held accountable also. And it just it's just sad. It's sad. Um, I don't know how true it is, but I have heard reports that they moved her out of the city. I don't know, but if they did, God bless her and God bless her children. They said that the children are also will be going to um a new school and things like that. So if that happened, that's great. That's wonderful. Again, don't know how true that is. That's just what I heard. You know, that's just the report that I had got. Um, Me personally, I just feel like we need to go back to when it was just whoop these kids ass, because this gentle parenting ain't working. This talking to them and whoop their ass. Like that's just how I feel. Like whoop their ass. Like it's nothing wrong with getting the belt and putting belt to ass. There's nothing wrong with it. It's nothing wrong with it. Because the way that these kids are nowadays, because the parents is too scared to hit them, because the first thing somebody won't say is, oh, DHS or CPS or DSS or whatever you want to call them. They're scared and fearful because DHS or CPS or whatever the case have put certain rules in place to where these parents really can't be parents to their children, because the first thing they want to say is, oh, that's abuse. Beating your child with a belt is not abuse. If you're not breaking his bones, you're not putting bruises on him, you're not putting marks, how is that abuse? You have to do something so your child will understand that I'm the adult, you're the child. You're going to respect me and you're going to listen to me. And if you can't do that, then guess what? I'm going to beat your ass. But can't do that no more because everybody got something to say about it. And I was sitting here just saying to myself, just actually contemplating, like, and I'm not trying to bring up any trauma for anybody, but I feel like they turning our children into the Columbine children and the Sandy Hook children. And like I said, there's no slight to anybody. You know, I still pray for them kids. God rest their soul. They should have never had to endure anything like that. But again, the problem lies within the home. That's where it starts at. It starts within the home. You are supposed to train your child up in the way that they should go. It says it in the Bible. And if you can't do that, then yes, you have failed as a parent. Because ain't no way in hell I'm gonna be letting little Tommy and John and Sarah and whoever else sit there and disrespect me. And no, that's not gonna happen. It's just not. It's just not. So that's why I said, sometimes we have to take a step back and just look at ourselves and look at the way our children are going. And sometimes we are part of the blame. And somebody said to me one time, well, they was like, well, Angie, how can you blame the parents for what their children do? Because what if the parents is doing all they can to be a good parent, and they send their kids to school to get an education, and they working so they can't always be there for the child? That you can't say that. You can't say that you supposed to blame the parent. Um, yeah, I can say that, because if the problem starts within the home, that's where the problem should be rectified at, in the home. You send your child to school. They go to school, they don't learn, they don't do their work, they go in and disrespect the teachers, they want to fight the teachers, they want to take guns and knives and all types of stuff to school, and we're not supposed to blame the parents. And then I know a lot of people always say, "Oh well, you got to think about what they watching. They watch." Somebody said yesterday, Grand Theft Auto and baddies, some baddies or whatever the crap is. You can blame that. Okay, so again, as a parent, you have to monitor what your child watches and what your child does. You cannot blame other people for that. When will we start taking accountability for the things that we do or don't do, lack thereof? But there has to be accountability somewhere. We can't always put off things on the other person or say that, oh, well, I sent my child to school and he did X, Y, and Z. Okay, so why didn't you go up to the school to see what it was that your child did or didn't do and rectify the situation? Oh, I had to work. I get it. We gotta work. Times is hard. Times is rough. I get it. We gotta work. Hold on for a second, guys. Okay. Yeah, that was one of my kids. So, um, he made me lose my train of thought. Um, so yeah, at the end of the day, if you can't take time out to go to your child's school to figure out what the issue is and what the problem is, then yes, you failed as a parent. I mean, that's just the only way I'm gonna look at it, and that's just the way I see it. I'm gonna use something for example that I'm recently experiencing. Not that I'm going through it. I'm just experiencing it. Um, a young lady that I do know, her son is going through some mental issues. Okay, and he actually displayed some things in school the other day. But let's say before it got here to what he displayed, when she was told of certain things that were going on, her response was, well, I can't keep taking off of work to do this, or I can't keep taking off of work to do that. And blase will skip. And I just looked like, huh? You can't do what? You mean to tell me you can't go up to that school for 30 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes to check on your child to see what's causing your child to act out or to see what's going on with your child? You mean to tell me your job is more important than your child? And don't get me wrong, I understand people need jobs because times is hard, so we all need a couple dollars, to make ends meet or to make it through. So I get that, I understand it. But when does a job become more important to you than your child? That's why I say, as parents, a lot of us fail that. So the little boy, um, he stabbed his teacher with a pencil. And after he did that, he took his shoelace, I guess, tied it around his neck, and repeatedly said he wants to kill himself. And mind you, he's only 5 years old. So that's not a cry for help. That's not alarming to you. Because it would be to me if I got a call that my child was being, saying these type of things like that. That's a real mental health issue. That's a cry for help. That's a crisis. Um, yeah, I would have been up to the school before you blink your eye. I'd have been there because I need to figure out, understand what's going on with my child as to why he's feeling the way he's feeling. Like, people don't understand mental health is real. And if you feel like your child is on a downward spiral, then as a mother or father or a guardian or whatever, your job is to get to the bottom of what's ailing this child, what's making this child feel this way, what's making this child act out. And that's what I'm saying about them kids that jumped that lady in Chicago. I feel like a lot of these kids are crying out for help, but they don't know how to ask for the help. So the only way to get the help or the attention that they're seeking is to lash out and do things that they probably wouldn't normally do. Not saying that what they did was right, because nothing they did was nowhere near right. But a lot of times, to me, it looks like it's a cry for help. And if these kids need help, get them help. People be so worried about what the next person gonna say, but at the end of the day, who cares about what the next person gonna say? This is your child. You're trying to save your child. You're trying to save your child's life. So get them the help that they need while they can. Because when you get older and you know your mental, because you know your mental, when you get as you get older, your mental can go from okay to severe, depending on what you have been through in your life, depending on your circumstances, depending on whatever's going on around you, also depending on the neighborhood you live in, and whatever the case may be. So a lot of time, people mental can go from bad to worse. And that's why I feel like a lot of people think that because somebody, is maybe talking a certain way or feeling a certain way, they crazy. No, that's not necessarily true. Sometimes people just need somebody to talk to, like a therapist or a psychiatrist. Like, they might just need that outlet, because a lot of times we don't know how to express how we feel to our parents or our significant other or our children, and vice versa. Our children don't know how to communicate a lot of things with us. So a lot of things we won't know. And we could try to keep pulling it out of them, pulling it out of them, pulling it out of them. But at the end of the day, we have to wait till they decide that they want to talk and tell us what's going on. So I feel like a lot of this has an impact on us as a culture and us as a community, because I know a lot of people were saying, I had seen a couple things where people were saying, that they was going to unalive these kids, which I don't think was cool or right by any means necessary. What they did was wrong. Should there be some type of punishment for them? Yes. But talking about unaliving children, nah, I can't get with that. I can't. Now I'm the type, like, shit. Let me find out what these kids are. I'm gonna go beat their ass. I'm gonna take me a big leather strap over there, and I'm gonna beat your ass like your mama won't. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tear your ass out the frame. I'm gonna beat you to the point where you understand that you don't ever put your hands on a grown adult or disrespect a grown adult. But I'm not in the business of unaliving a child. That's just not how I roll or how I rock. I just don't feel like that should have even been said. Like, I get it. Everybody's outraged about the situation, and, people want justice and people want answers. But to go about it that way is just not, it's just not cool at all. So I don't necessarily condone that at all. But yeah, seriously, we have to start, being more vigilant with these children and more vigilant about the things that's going on in our community and around us. Hold on for a minute. I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So yeah, my thing with it is, just try being more attentive to your children. Um, Pick their brain, like see what's really wrong with them, because I believe them children I believe they were acting out. I do. Like, I believe there's something more to what's going on. It could be at home, or maybe somebody bullying them, and they just decided to, you know, bully somebody else back. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like, you know, talk to them children and see what's really going on with them. But me, I'm the type, I'm gonna beat your ass, then I'll talk to you later, or I'm gonna talk to you while I'm beating your ass. However it may go. But a lot of people is not with that, and that's understandable. Um, so I just feel like, see what's really going on with your children, because these kids could come from broken homes. Um, their parents probably always at work. They probably left with grandma, or some of them could be left home alone to fend for themselves, and they don't know what to do or what to eat or anything. Hold on. Yeah, you was turning my call, but you had called me, and I was on the other line, so I said, let me call her back. I forgot what I called you for the first time. I don't even remember what I had called you for the first time. Child, my mind be all over the place. Yeah, I don't even remember why. All right, guys. I gotta go. I was gonna try to give y'all some more commentary, but I'll probably come back a little later to finish it up, because I'm actually um in the middle of doing some research. So that's why I keep muting a lot, because I'm in the middle of doing research. But yeah. Once I find out more information, I'll come back live if I feel like it. I'll come back live. But yeah. I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Everybody stay safe, be blessed. Good night.